Millions without power right now. Let's talk about it. So we've been warned of these rolling blackouts, these rolling shutdowns of the electrical grid for months and months now. And it's coming to a tipping point, and countries around the world are having countrywide blackouts, okay? Countries like Sri Lanka had to turn the power off for weeks, turn the gas off for weeks. Nobody could even buy any gas until they were bailed out by the International Monetary Fund. Okay, so this is happening all over the world. Countries are collapsing. They are struggling to keep the lights on. And this has been a planned shutdown. So over 11 million people in Cuba alone are facing daily rolling blackouts. Daily. Okay, the power's off for 12, 13 hours at a time. Every single day, over 11 million people in Cuba. These people, this hits close to home. They are right near Florida. I grew up in Florida. Cuba's what, 60 miles from Florida or something? 100 miles? That's nothing. You could drive that in an hour. You could be there on a boat in a couple hours, and it happens constantly. And more people are getting more desperate and leaving Cuba because they are in terrible conditions right now. The economy's collapsing, rolling blackouts. This is a sign of a failed, collapsed government in Cuba. And a lot of this has to do with sanctions and restrictions that were put in place on Cuba. But a lot of this also has to do with failed government, failed policies. And we want to mimic a lot of these same policies. So check out this article. It says, amid blackouts, food shortages, Cubans face a dengue outbreak that has killed 2 children. All right, it says, burdened by constant blackouts and food shortages, Cubans are now facing a new dengue outbreak in the middle of the hot summer that threatens again to overwhelm the island's public health system, already reeling. It says, with daily electricity cuts lasting several hours, it is harder for Cubans to keep the mosquitoes at bay, because dengue is spread through mosquito bites. Cuban officials recently said the situation does not have a short-term solution because the country has a power generation deficit. And it also goes on to say that they are facing medicine shortages. I made a video about this a few weeks ago, how people are experiencing severe shortages of medicine. Just every common household day medicine that you see, you know, Tylenol, aspirin, things like that. I needed children's Tylenol, baby Tylenol for my kids when they got sick. And there was only 1 box left. There was like one box of a couple different kinds left. That's it. All right. And lots of people are also warning me that they're seeing shortages too. And in Cuba, it says more than 140 medicines have been in short supply. Almost 40% of the most common medicines that should be available in pharmacies. This is a global thing. A lot of the medicines are made in China and produced overseas. So we don't really have control over our own healthcare system. We are vulnerable to a lot of these supply chain issues and a lot of just, you know, funny business going on in China as well. And somebody that lives there on the ground said, Cuba feels like a powder keg that could blow up on any corner. Right? This is a quote from an article. This is what somebody's saying about Cuba. Miguel, he says he lives in the same province where most recent protests took place. And he asked that his full name not be used for fear of retribution, because you are really not allowed to speak out against the government or have governmental protests in Cuba, or they have massive crackdowns, tons of political dissidents, political prisoners in Cuba. And it says, in response to the growing energy crisis, officials give regular updates on the power shortages, but the news is rarely good. So just like the people in Cuba, I'm sure were warned that they're gonna have rolling blackouts. We're being warned here as well, okay? And now it's happening there, and it could start happening here at any moment. We're having scorching temperatures. Texas is on fire. they're being warned that the energy grid is constantly at risk, and it's literally on fire from wildfires, forest fires, prairie fires as well. So think about any kind of solar panel that you can get your hands on. I know it's expensive to have a giant set that can produce a ton of electricity, but they have little phone charger solar panels at Walmart, okay, at Costco probably. But I saw mine at Walmart in the little camping section, and it was like 15 bucks for a little solar panel pad to plug your phone in, to plug a USB into, so you can charge your phone or charge something. That could be critical. That could be life-saving. You could use a USB fan to plug into it to cool yourself down. A lot of these blackouts, they're relating them to heat waves, supposedly. So it could be in the middle of summer when it's 107 degrees in Texas, when your power goes out, when you need it the most, when you need your AC the most. So that little USB fan could literally save your life. All right, seriously, in a spray bottle, you spray some water on you and you let the fan blow on you. It acts as like sweat evaporation, respiration. That'll cool you down quick. All right, a little solar panel like that. And if you can invest in a bigger system, like a little system that you could put outside your car or put outside, you know, your RV to charge your RV up, whatever you have, that could also be life-saving too. All right, so we need to be thinking about as many ways as possible to get off the grid, because it's vulnerable. It's completely vulnerable. It's vulnerable to hacking. It's vulnerable to cyber attacks. It's vulnerable just to shutdowns, apparently. And it's vulnerable to heat waves. It's vulnerable to being overloaded. All these different vulnerabilities is not what you want to be subjected to if you don't have to be. So thank you for listening to me rant, rumble, all that good stuff. Thank you so much. Let's hope the situation gets better in Cuba, but this is what's happening. These less fortunate countries are collapsing, and we're next, all right? We're next. We're gonna be one of the last dominoes to fall. The big European and Western countries like America and in Europe. We're gonna be one of the last dominoes, but it's gonna be a huge domino to fall. So if you like this stuff, you like the prepper news, you want to stay updated on this kind of stuff in the world, please hit that like, hit the sub, hit the bell, all that good stuff, the comments down there. I'm super blessed to have you guys watching. I love making these videos for you guys. I'm motivated every day. I want to just get these videos out, get the information out. I read this stuff, I'm just like, what the bleep is going on, man? This is crazy, and I want to get it out for you guys. So thank you for watching me, thank you for listening, and you have a blessed day. Thank you.